Yeah, it was Michael, one of our listeners. He told told us about you, and yeah, it's nice to
Yeah, I
talk to you.
haven't seen him for a while. Yeah, he's a good guy.
So, understand that you've been a drummer since you were 14.
Well, professionally since 14 and a half.
Wow.
So, I mean, I started at a very young age, probably about 6 at school, when the teachers brought this small drum in and they wanted somebody to play a pattern, and I had to wait for this drum to come around the class. I thought, well, I think maybe I could do that.
Yeah.
So the seed was probably sown then, but nothing really happened probably till I was about 9 or 10, and then I just kept tapping all the time on the table. My mum said, get him a drum, for God's sake. So once I got this snare drum, that made it even worse, because I took it from there. And I was lucky to find a good tutor at an early age. And he'd been with a band, with a very old band, which actually had Rod Stewart in the band, and Long John Baldry and things. And he was good. He was a great teacher. And then he just said one day, have you ever thought about going professional? And I didn't even know what it meant. I said, well, what's that mean? He said, it means you do it for a living. He said, you're very good. You should do it. So I said, oh, right, that sounds good. I was with a band and they were a lot older than me. They were about 27 each or so. So I was the baby of the band. But all of a sudden we got this tour going all around England in the theatres and things, back in virtually the first half of the show. So my dad came to the school with me and said, look, he wants to do this as a living. We need to let him go early. Otherwise he's going to miss the chance to go on this tour. And the headmaster, he was brilliant. He said, yeah, I'm not going to stop you for the sake of 6 months or so.
It was good encouragement.
So yeah, I was lucky all round, really. Even if he'd have said no, we'd have gone. He wouldn't have stopped me. My dad was very keen on me doing it. I mean, obviously I couldn't drive, so my dad used to take me everywhere for rehearsals and what have you.
So have you had a lot of influences from other drummers?
Over the years, yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of people like Steve Gadd and John Bonham and all these sort of people, and they're people that I've got to meet and spend time with, which is nice. But yeah, there's some great players coming through all the time, and you watch different bands and things, you think, that's a nice little player.
What makes it interesting is listening to old stuff and new as well, and transformation as well.
That's right. The other thing that before I just jumping back a little bit, before I actually went on tour there, I went for a lesson with the guy in the back of this music shop, and I had a couple of lessons with him. And the guy running the shop was a bass player, and he was the drummer was his mate. So he said, can you give Paul a few lessons? But he didn't know anything about modern music. It was all the dance band sort of stuff with brushes. So whenever anybody came in, he said, well, you better show him that, because I haven't got a clue what's going on with this. So he used to chuck me in this little booth there, showing these people these different rhythms and things. And so it kind of started from there, really. And then, of course, over the years, I got into tuition as well. So probably about 50 odd years now I've been teaching people. One of my students won the Young Drummer of the Year, which was brilliant. His sister got into the finals of Hits Like a Girl, which is an American thing, but it's people submitting videos from all around the world. So she got into the finals. So yeah, I've been. That's nice to see the next generation coming up, playing good as well.
Yeah, I make my own music as well when I'm not doing radio.
Yeah.
But it's just experimenting everything really.
That's
I
good.
don't play any instruments. I'd like to play the guitar.
You should try it. Yeah, you should try it. Get yourself a keyboard, you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, I play just a tiny bit of keyboard, but I mean, I'm not no great shapes on it, but I can get by when I'm writing songs and things. And I've got a little studio, which I can use. And the more you do it, it's actually good fun. Well, it's funny you talk about sampling, because one of the bands I was with over the years, Fuzzy Duck, we did this album, and it's only recently that I found out that my drumming was sampled by some American rappers. The drums actually start the track off, so it was easy to sample because there's nothing else in the way. It's a bit naughty when they don't tell you, because if they had said, look, we're going to give you whatever, I'd have given it to a charity.
Is it right? You run a studio called Orchard
Orchard Percussion. Yeah, that's a teaching studio. I've got it myself and a colleague that he was an ex-student of mine. He's been with me about 6 years now. We've got 3 different studios, so he's over in one studio teaching, and I've over in the other one. But I've got a bigger studio where my band rehearses. So we're lucky in that respect. We had lots of outhouses that we've refurbished and made them into studios, and it's perfect, really.
Yeah,
it's nice to have a big studio for the band to rehearse, so you haven't got to keep going out looking for the studios. You've got it on your doorstep.
What other bands are you into?
Well, I love Stevie Wonder, anything that he does, because over the years it's just so classy. It's I don't mind actually, as long as it's good. I really don't mind. I can't think of anybody offhand straight off, but there's a lot of good stuff out there. You can pick up an old CD or something. Oh, yeah, that's a good. I used to like Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Yeah, they're good.
Well, Traveling Wilburys, I like. Well, I love Jeff Lynne's stuff. I think he's brilliant. Right. So anything that he does. He's got a guitarist with him at the moment who used to be with me with Steve Harley. So Milton McDonald. So it was nice to see something on television and say, that's Milton. Yeah. Over the years I've worked with different people really, but there used to be a band in the 60s called The Searchers, and the bass player left, and he was the lead vocalist, Tony Jackson. But I was going for an audition with this Tony and got the job, and so it was literally going from there in a taxi up to the management office in London, and then they're just saying, you're going to record the single on such and such a date. We've got 4 TV shows booked, including Top of the Pops and all that stuff. And you think, this is just mind-boggling, really.
Yeah.
And so you went from just playing little sort of local gigs to tours again, all around the theatres and things, with all the acts, the Hollies and people. So that was good fun. And the single got in the top 30, got number 25, so that was good. Different other bands I joined over the years, and one band was called Fuzzy Duck, which is a strange name, and it got a very cult following. So if you check it out, Fuzzy Duck's got a brilliant album cover with a duck and holding a bag and things. So, Fuzzy Duck. And that, it's worth £1,000, over £1,000 if you've got hold of a copy. It's become a collector's item. Yeah. One more hour and I say something so fear. And tomorrow, should the world still carry on, we'll be better off with one. Just before them, I had a band called Tucky Buzzard. They're funny names, all these, but I joined up with them, and they were managed by Bill Wyman, or recorded by Bill Wyman. So we used to do a lot of work in the studios, and then we toured all around. Then I got itchy feet because things weren't moving quite so quick, so I left and went with this Fuzzy Duck band. So I just kind of moved down, and then I had about 7 years with Steve Harley, Courtney Rebel. That was good. That was really good. He was great to work with. There's a very good album that I did with Steve Harley called Poetic Justice. In your hands, build on solid rock. Yeah, so and I did some work with Jack Bruce from Cream.
Oh, okay.
I taught his son, and then I did a couple of gigs with Jack, and we got on really well. So yeah, I've been lucky. I've played with some good people out there.
Yeah.
Which makes a big difference, really, because you're going from small venues. I mean, when I went with Steve, the first gig was like 11,000 people in Berlin, Nuremberg actually, and so it was a big jump. And then I did you check out someone called Maggie Bell. She was with a band called Stone of Crows.
Oh, okay.
And then she went solo, and I toured all around America with a supporting Bad Company. And
I like Bad Company.
yeah, Bad Company good. And we got to play like Madison Square Gardens, Carnegie Hall with a band called Tranquility I was with out there. Some nice, lovely venues in America. America's a great place to. I think every musician should have the opportunity to play in America because they treat you so well, even if you're, a nobody's.
Yeah.
The other band, Tranquility, that I was with, we did an album and we were promoting it out there. And we were going down a storm. I've got a list. I've got to read you this because it freaked me out. When they're trying to break a band in America, we were on CBS Records. They try and put you not just in small clubs, but in decent sized venues that a lot of people are going to see the band and think, oh, I like the sound of that band. There's the Mahavishnu Orchestra, Jojo Gunn, Everly Brothers, Yes, Eagles, ZZ Top, Joe Walsh, David Bowie, Earth, Wind and Fire, Dr. Hook, Billy Preston, Linda Ronstadt, J. Giles Band, Peter Frampton, Captain Beefheart, Dr. John, REO Speedwagon, Barkman Turner Overdrive, Blackout Arkansas, New Riders of the Purple Sage, Doobie Brothers, Procol Harum, The Who, Blue Oyster Cult, Big Brother and the Holding Company, and then the Rolling Stones in the UK. That was earlier on in the 60s. But I mean, you're guaranteed of a really good audience there. They're big venues.
That you worked with these legendary people as well.
Well, we got to hang out with Led Zeppelin a lot because they were on the same label as Maggie. It was in fact, it was their record label that she was on. So they would come to gigs, be in the wings watching, and we had parties and stuff with them. And it was really, really good fun. Good guys and certainly good players. I mean, I think the Zeppelin nailed it completely. I mean, when they came out, it just blew everybody away. I think, wow, this is so good. And the ironic thing was, I actually was on the short list of about 7 people that were up for the gig, but it never got any further. I never heard from anybody.
What are you having to work on currently now that things are starting to get back up to speed with gigs and events?
Well, I've got my own band. I mean, we've had to shelve that really, so we hadn't seen each other for over a year. But we're back rehearsing again now. So hopefully next year we'll be doing some gigs. And then we donate the money to charity, so we enjoy it, and then the charities benefit from it as well.
It's been nice to chat with you.
That's been good talking to you. It sounds really good, but the system you've got going there, I wish you all the best of luck with that. I'm still bopping away and loving it, love every minute of it.
Yeah.
You keep safe anyway, Lewis, and
thanks much.
good talking to you, mate.
And you. Thanks.
Take care.